Monday.
You got more recent information than I did.
All right, guys, 7:05 PM, start time. Roll call, Mr. Jacoby. Mr. Jenks,
Here.
Ian Lee,
There.
Mr. Rieger's not here, Mr. Glenn's not here, Tricia Taylor.
Yep.
And Jim Martin present. Right. We have no visitors, so
Yeah.
so I can skip that portion.
Yeah, so, let's see, start with the,
Old business meeting.
yeah, there's no
Approve
visitors.
The minutes from the April 11th meeting on small solar regulation.
Yeah, I was wondering, and this is why I didn't remember this meeting.
Because you weren't there, right?
You were not.
You were.
I realized after I talked to him, well, this wasn't a typical meeting. This was a minutes from.
I don't know if you read the total time of meeting, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
7 to 3.
Did you see this? This is what you can
Yeah, how many
aspire,
minutes?
you can aspire to. Beat
Yeah.
that.
What was it, like 4?
7 to 7:03.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
3 minutes.
Shouldn't mess
It
around.
was a pleasure doing the minutes for these, that
They
meeting.
said, oh, Kurt's not here, bye.
I've already screwed up. I'm
We were
not.
efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, so, so I don't know, do you need time to read through the minutes?
Done.
I mean, you guys were all here, so.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second. Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are accepted. Good deal. Okay, let's see, other on business, let's see,
That was it from line.
Nope.
number 2, the trustees, oh, yeah, so I just want to pass this along, you know, be nice if Fred or, and, Marvin were here, but, so I attended the meeting when the trustees approved the zoning for the small solar facilities that we had worked on for a year, solid year. And so I wanted to attend in case they had any questions. And I did make some comments, and basically it was along the lines of something that Shauna had raised, the question and comment that, you know, when we put in place the bond that they have to apply for, and then every 5 years, it has to be reviewed by an engineer and the bond, you know, upgraded as per the cost if that facility were shut down that day, you know, basically how much that reclaiming of the land and cleanup of the site would cost. So that increases over time with inflation, right? So I explained that to the trustees and why we did it that way, and why it was based on a mechanism that the Ohio Power Siting Board uses. They do that same kind of thing with much larger, you know, coal plants and things like that. How much is it going to cost? And then the utility has to buy, you know, bonds to assure that. So I explained why we did that, but Sean had asked, well, how are we going to track that? Because that's on 5-year periods, and the township's really not set up for that. So I said, you know, when we get our first application for a small solar facility, we're going to need to set that up. That system in, you know, and it's not going to fall on you. The trustees need to figure that out. You know, how they're going to handle that. You know, Jim, you're in business, and you know how people will have calendars out for a year, you know, or 2.
Sure.
You know, you know what you're going to be doing next summer, right? Or you're not going to be working, or when it starts up. So, you know, just like that, the township needs to look at the long term, you know, okay, what 5 years from now, who are we going to be reviewing for their bond? You know, we'll have to do some of that tracking because they won't do it on their own.
It's almost a cross that bridge when we get there kind of deal.
It is. Yeah, for right now, we don't have to worry about it, but as soon as they get their first application, by golly, this, you know, the starter pistol goes off, so.
Is there anything else that's tracked like that? I mean, like a time period?
Nothing. Nothing.
that I know of in the township regulations or anything. I mean, you have annual permits and licenses and things like that. It's more of an annual.
That's not within though. That's external, monitor or whatever.
Yeah,
So it's not something that has to be done here.
right, exactly. So anyway, that was that. And Jake Stubbs, complimented everybody. I wanted to, express that he knew of the effort that had gone into it. And, we'd worked for a solid year, and I don't know whether he knew it, but, he knew it was a good effort, and he had, I guess, had read the document and known that it was thorough. But I told him that, based upon when I attended the OTA winter conference in late January, early February, I got the strong opinion that most townships were way behind the curve on this thing. They were asking questions that we were asking at the very beginning of that cycle. So I felt pretty good that we were in a good position on that. And, so Jake said, maybe our document should be shared with the Ohio Township Association if other townships might want to use that at least as a reference, if not a guide.
How many people did you search and get thrown off?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they could just compare it to what that template was.
Yeah, just
And then
to
they could
have
see
it.
what we did, or we
Right.
could even highlight, here's some things that came up from from public comments. A lot of that was from public comments. So that was another thing that really helped us, is that we had people who were really engaged in the issue.
Yeah,
Just
and
models, and it encourages other people to share what they have too, if they haven't.
for sure. And it depends on how agricultural a township might be. Some are more agricultural than we are by far, and others are considerably less. So all that comes together. But anyway, so that was something I was hoping to pass along.
I will tell you guys, the documents actually came back from the auditor, so we're all set. Turned in, they've been done, and I got them back today.
Oh, so there's, after the trustees approve it, there's still a.
Mark had to turn it into the auditor. Or is it the auditor? Yeah,
Really? Okay.
where you take it down and pay for it to be,
Oh, enter into the,
yes, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah. And so then they compare it to any other regulation, even though the prosecutor's office and the planning commission have done their part of it. Now, I guess it's got yet another.
Another layer.
So it's
Another
done, completely done.
Okay. And it is posted on the website with the other
Yes.
articles.
And actually, you guys all have a copy of the resolution, so I will make a note to make copies for you. So you can replace them.
Oh, paper copies?
So you can replace them in your,
Oh, that would be great.
yeah. I'll make a
Oh,
note
that'd be
now.
great.
I'll
Yeah,
get that.
Dan and I keep thinking we don't know which copy we've got. And I hate to print it at home. That'll just kill my little Hewlett Packard,
Yeah.
It just,
You're buying
smoke will
ink
come
for
out.
days. My goodness.
You don't have a solar powered printer?
I'm not carbon neutral at home. So anyway, that was that. Any other old business that we need?
You had texted me about the PDF of, did we figure that out?
I have been covered up in zoning and I have not had a chance.
So we were good though.
I think we are.
I think we are.
You did get it from.
I did get it. Like I said, I just,
So I thought we put it on a jump drive or something. I was
Yeah.
calling you on it was a quick.
you got it on there for me. I just, like I said, I haven't, between permits and BZA stuff and
Yeah.
complaints. Stinks.
Are these zoning related complaints?
Yes, everybody wants to complain.
What's the number one? You think of like what are some of the main ones? Or just off
It's
topic here
just
is old business?
Little thing. And mostly like, next BZA case is the guy over here in Bloomington at 725. I finally heard from them after multiple letters. He's a renter. Basically, the homeowner told him, I'll take care of it. Never did. but he came to my office, super nice guy, super nice, and he wants to do everything he can to be able to keep the business there.
Sure.
So his hearing is on July 9th. So a lot of what he does is he works on farm equipment. And I guess when he got the letters, the farmers in the area are not happy. I told him, I said, then get them here. Get them here to the meeting.
I mean, they're not happy
Because
because
he's gonna shut down.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
And there's.
He's their guy.
Now,
I don't see any farm equipment in there. It's all cars and trucks.
he said automobile repair is not a approved conditional use, but farm equipment repair and farm trucks.
I've never seen it.
Well, I told him any proof that he can provide me.
What's that?
There's a tractor sitting there now, but I did not see the tractor previous.
I told him any receipts.
Hey,
proof
can
he
I borrow a
provide
tractor real quick?
Would be helpful. So,
Yeah, I feel for the guy, you know,
Absolutely.
he is working his tail off.
he is, and I've heard wonderful things about him.
Yeah.
And I know he does work for Stubbs.
But on the other hand, the neighbors, you know, next door across the street, they didn't
All of his,
bargain for that, you know?
well, and all of his neighbors are happy with it. The one complaint that we have was from someone that doesn't even live near.
That's I wish he would, I mean, he's leaving a lot of cars
And we discussed that.
out and visible.
I said, be a good neighbor.
If you build a privacy fence, no one would say, well,
Well, and I'll have to look, if it gets passed, you know.
I mean, as a neighbor, I am.
Yeah.
That would be my one complaint is that he does have a lot of cars.
Yeah.
If you could just build a fence.
And actually, I think he said the ones in the backyard are his personal.
Or park on the other side of the barn that's not showing, you know, like on the opposite of the boomer sign.
Yeah.
Side.
Well, and I told him, I said, be a good neighbor. That will go a long way.
Yeah, I saw him, he's out there, he's keeping his yard neat
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. I go by that corner
Yeah,
all the
like I
time.
said, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Brought the cutest little boy coming in
Yeah.
talking about
Oh, yeah.
pet and goats. Oh, my God.
I see the little kid.
Yeah, so,
It's a nice family, you can tell. He's just trying to make a
living.
living. But,
Yeah.
you know, everybody, it's that whole balance, the
yeah.
values of the community with the rights of the property.
And while we're on that, so SRM, where there's no update on their lawsuit yet. But, I was kind of forced to poke the bear a little bit, which made me nervous. There was a complaint about them using the unauthorized access point on Butter Street. So
It has to be authorized, that's right.
according to their original conditional use application, there was to be no access points off any other street other than that permit.
Right.
So there was, and actually, Mr. Holbrook, our road superintendent, had come to me and expressed concern over it. And then James Rowland came to the trustee meeting and mentioned it. And Roland, Carlisle Pike, he was a big speaker on the solar thing.
Oh, I remember him.
Or not the solar thing, the SRM thing. And we kind of told him we're taking care of it, which of course it got laid in my lap. So I had to I sent him a letter. Sent one to the Smyrna Ready Mix down on Sugar, and I sent one to Mr. Hollingshead, who's actually the owner in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Last Thursday. Hollingshead. I sent them out last Thursday, and Mr. Holbert came to my office Monday and said, I'd like to give you a hug. He says they have blocked off that access point, and no longer using it. So hopefully it will stop tearing up Butter Street.
Yeah, I was recalling some of the regulations that we had passed when this whole thing first came up. When Scott Weidel asked for permission to mine that down
Yeah.
there. And were you with us then?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I sent him a copy, the original conditional use where it says no access points other than that.
But I know Marv was heavily involved. And I was thinking, I remember that we passed some kind of a thing that they can't pile rocks higher than, or material, just material higher than, I think it's 20 feet above the landscape. Well, they got piles 50 feet high, you know? And other stuff like that, but that one access was,
Well, yeah, because they were just tearing up Butter Street.
Oh, it's also Sugar Street. You know,
Yeah.
I've been looking, because we've had other factors from our original wording. I don't think we even put in, I think it was been there before about, they have to maintain that, I mean, call it the conditions there on the road. And it's really bad there. I mean, I know they'll spray it down with water once in a while, but it's really bad lately.
Yeah.
there on Eckhart Road where the railroad track is, you know, I had a cement truck. I over the, you know, about 60 miles an hour. That thing, it just about went airborne. I was right next to it, you know.
I almost had an
That's what
accident last
this
week
guy's
at the, where they come on from the other side, you know, what, coming on the, that'd be the north side of that, I guess I think it's Pickler there. Is that where that SRM also?
Yeah, they're on the
That's
north
SRM.
side.
That they come, the trucks, they don't even stop. They come down that, you know, that little ramp that comes over by the hiking path down there. They come down onto Sugar Street there. And last week, I saw one coming, but I was driving down there. I thought, well, he's gonna stop. He kept coming and I finally, then I had to hit I hit the horn first and then he kept coming anyway. So I actually run off the road on the curb there and he slammed his brakes on the same time. But I got on by him and I mean, he wasn't even close to stopping. It wasn't like a running
This was
stop.
on Sugar?
Yeah, it's coming out of that gravel pit back there. It wasn't even close to a stop. He just, I don't know if he didn't see me or what, because he did hit his brakes and skidded with his gravel truck.
Yeah, it's on.
And I went off the edge of the road. So I don't know, and I've seen that happen numerous times. I don't know if there's the stop sign there, but I mean, that's just a regular law that you stop when coming off of a.
Yeah.
Onto a,
At least you,
yeah.
like coming out of the driveway.
So I don't
Sugar
know.
Street to 4 is one of the worst spots in our area.
Yeah.
Before you're going down the hill, people come left out of Sugar Street in front of you all the time there.
Yeah.
There needs to be a three-way there.
Is that, have you noticed too, is that gravel trucks or just everybody?
No, it's just adolescents, old people,
Yeah.
anybody who drives.
Yeah.
They just think there's a stop sign there. You're coming down the hill 60 miles an hour and they go out in front of you. It's like my pet peeve.
Yeah, it's bad there. I come through there all the time. I noticed that. It's been, I'm more concerned about the trucks because you can't stop quickly with trucks. And so if they're, I'm wondering if they're not aware of the drivers, you know, there's different people. They're not all employees. I mean, they have contract people coming there too. If they're not aware of the stuff, that gravel pit.
So that's what the zoning office has been up to. So hoping to get to I just hit the bottom of my list.
Sure. He just messaged me and asked me if I did.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I did it, but I had to bring.
Yeah, you did.
If I did or not.
Yeah, it's good. Jim, thanks. I appreciate you doing that. I was looking for a map of the town. You have anything in like in your office or?
This that was in
I
there,
thought
Like that?
that'll do, I think. Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Thank you. That's okay.
Dave, I feel like you're on your own little island over there.
I feel like it, yeah. Don't wake me up. It'll be midnight.
Except when it's time to go home, right?
I'll second it.
Okay, so let's see, that old business there or?
Yep.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right, any other old business? Okay. New business. So this is something that I've talked with Marvin about and a little bit about. And Marvin suggests I talk with Fred because he has potentially an interest in it or a conflict of interest or something like that if anything should ever happen. And the question I raised was whether we should look at the mining, gravel and sand mining on prime agricultural land, because the current resolution allows for mining on agricultural land, just wide open, okay? Whether we want to change that regulation to say, you know, I think if we restricted on agricultural or made it conditional, then that would make it tough anywhere. But we might just want to say, okay, with the idea that with small solar farms, we got a tremendous input from the community that's prime ag is a value. It's a value in the community. Okay, I mean, that was made very clear. So if we are trying to protect prime ag, when it comes to solar facilities, then when you're looking at aggregate mining, which puts a permanent hole, you know, that permanently damages the land. at least with small solar farms, you could reclaim that. And if you can't farm it anymore, you can at least put houses on it or
Or animals.
animals.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of uses. But once a gravel pit goes in, there's not too much you can do. You know, it's there and there's Fred, I'll be gosh darn it.
How are you distinguishing between prime ag and,
It's the soil type.
so that would be through, that's what
Yeah.
I thought through.
Yeah,
through
and
the
that
water.
soil is identified almost foot by foot
Yes.
by the soil.
Oh, yeah.
Which soil survey?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an
now they
amazing
have that,
document.
that's new, that's
Yeah.
always been.
Look it up for your own yard.
Oh, I did for my own case.
Yeah, your own
We got that, yeah.
Hey, Scratchy.
I mean, they know exactly, you know, how you're
Right.
like.
Yeah.
Hello, Fred. Good evening. So anyway, that was, it was kind of with the insight of what we had done with small solar farms when it comes to the latest activity on aggregate mining. And so, I don't have an opinion on this, but I'm just saying that maybe might want to look at it as a zoning commission. In order to do that, we might want to ask the trustees for a moratorium so we can have time to study it, because there's currently one case in litigation in the courts. And that's why I wanted this map. There is quite a bit of land along this floodplain. You've got that area of mud leg. You've got all this land down through here, and they've already found value in this land here along Farmington. So there's a lot of land that could be mined yet that has resources under the surface. So it might be worth, just saying, okay, a temporary hold on this, like we did with solar farms while we study it. And go forth. But whether it's a 6-month or a 12-month, for the solar farms, we asked for the trustees put down 6 months, gave us 6, and then we needed a full 12 because there's just a lot to do in that period of time. So we already have
We've already got an entire chapter.
we've already got an entire chapter.
To
That's
mining.
correct. That's right.
So I mean, would we need a moratorium, or can we just add something to that chapter that says,
We can do that. If we add something to the chapter, it would have to go through all of those steps that I would think. Because it's
you're making a change to the
it'd be a
resolution,
significant change.
but it's not like we're starting from scratch like the solar.
Right. And that's a very good point. It's Article 45, right? Is the mining.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know, comments, thoughts on all that?
I think the only strong point of the moratorium is that there's already action in the township for mining. If things don't go one way, they're gonna be looking for another place to mine. We need some time to figure out what our regulations should be.
Right.
I mean, it's only a matter of time. If this situation doesn't handle it, they're gonna move to the next one. We need to make sure we're doing what's best for our constituents.
And conversely, if they win that case, they may be emboldened to buy more.
Sure.
Or other companies. It's not just any particular company, Pickle or anybody else. I mean, that land, I'm talking about all the land that's in that floodplain and down through there, is more valuable underneath than what's on the surface.
All the way across better and all that, I'm sure.
So, Fred, what we're talking about is, okay, he's always ahead of me. So anyway, what are your thoughts about that? I mean, we do have something on the books already. But for the points that Jim made there, that's what occurred to me. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I don't think it would hurt to, at least inquire with the trustees to see what we need to do. I mean, we've got things in process right now, but it still wouldn't hurt. I mean, a moratorium is probably going, and sort of in place just by the fact that it's in the courts. In a way, there's no action being taken because it's going to become some kind of decision is going to be made. So I don't know how long that, do we know how long that's stretching out? We don't have a time frame for
No,
that.
I consulted the legal team for an update a few weeks ago, and there was none yet, so she said she would let me know when.
Well, I think probably, isn't it the trustees' position to determine whether that was going to happen? We can't declare a moratorium. So I don't see why we wouldn't just go ahead and ask them if they would consider that, or maybe we just need to have, I don't know, we have come to a trustees meeting to have that discussion, or whether we.
We might want to provide our rationale for that. And, say why we are asking for it. That would help them on, rather than just saying, we'd like to have it. But, what we could do is put together a motion that would ask for that, but say excluding any cases currently in litigation, because we don't want to go near that. Sure. Just, this is more or less forward looking that says, okay, what about other land out there? You've got that big plot of land there that's under corn or beans every year along Mud Lake. They, I think it was Scott Weidel that looked at
It was
developing
about
that.
10 or more years ago, maybe 15 years ago, they wanted to do that. It was, I can't remember what, I don't know if I was on zoning at the time, but it didn't
Sure, that
happen.
area down the bottom of Manning, all that done with the creek bed down there on the bottom of Manning. Before Boomershine.
Yeah, I don't know if that's park system or not.
And some of that was.
Well, some of it is personally owned, I know, but I mean, there's a lot of land down.
Oh,
across
yes,
over there.
sir. Yes, sir.
And that's all floodplain off the creek bed, it'd be all the same stuff. I mean, we've got some good land that's, they're putting corn on now. I mean, it's got corn that's going, so. I think
Yeah.
we had our job to start the community spoke very loudly about solar. The exact same effect that solar has.
Well, I think
Worse.
it'd be actually more,
Yeah.
it'd be more
There's a
disruptive.
hole in the ground.
It'd be more disruptive to everything.
And there's no, we can't hold them to the same thing where they have to keep it on for 5 years to bring the land back. They're never gonna bring that land back
Yeah.
to where it was.
What about up on Route 4, new Route 4? Says gravel on the west side.
Yeah.
That is
It is,
residents who are asking for fill.
Oh, really? Is that what that is?
That is the people that had inquired about agritourism. The part hasn't gone anywhere, but they also have a building package sitting on the ground that they don't have.
It says something like Watkins sand and gravel or.
Yeah. It's a residence off of
They're asking
downtown
for fill
Middletown,
there.
claiming that they have a farm because they have chickens,
Oh, yeah.
but it's mostly trees.
Yeah, they're looking for any tax break they can get, I guess.
They wanted to do an event farm. So, but I told them that there has to be some kind of connection between what you're doing on your farm and your event,
It's either Marv or Fred says, I know what that's all about.
pretty much.
So, okay, so I guess, what do you think? Should we,
Something we need to have to bring a motion to have them do? Does it have to be in a formal motion?
I think it does.
Or is it worth the conversation of a couple of us coming to the trustee meeting and have a conversation before we make a motion? The only thing is you're extending this out because we only meet every 6 weeks.
We'd have to meet in July, their first meeting there, which I think is maybe the 8th or something like that.
Here's the BZN and then.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like the small solar farm thing. Every time you go without some kind of a moratorium, you're extending it on. But they may need to talk to us, and see why we think that way.
Or it'd be worth writing the motion and then coming to the meeting so they can talk to us. So they've already got the motion in
That's a
front of
good
them.
idea. Yeah.
versus waiting, writing the motion afterwards, have the motion in front of them, come to them. Like, we don't answer the questions if they like, then they don't have to approve the motion.
Are you tied up at the fair?
I can leave for a meeting. I can make it happen. That's all.
Mhm.
Tuesday.
Monday, the eighth. That'd be at 7 o'clock.
Make it happen. That won't be football because Jake's gonna be in trustee meeting.
Anybody else be able to be there on Monday, the eighth?
That would look-
Get back.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because
that-
we
You
didn't-
might get back with it.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
would you? Okay,
I think so.
okay, all right, I'll talk with Marvin.
Does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to, ask the, trustees to start with a 6-month, moratorium on new aggregate mining. So that we have time to do some research and look at our chapter 45 and see if that's exactly what we want to keep, what we add, remove. But I think we need some time to figure that out.
With the exclusion of any cases that are in litigation.
In case that are not good.
Is there a second?
A second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye. On the solar panels, they're really pushing salesmen around now.
Are they, you're getting lots of, or people knock on your door?
Yeah,
Chris, do you have anybody doing that on your
Sales for what?
solar farms?
Solar farms, just flyers in the mail. There are people that want, we get a lot of, random people from different states and we'll buy your farm for cash.
Is that right?
Yeah, we want, or flyers. One in particular was more than once. I think I got it 3 times. Somebody from Texas wanting to go buy your farm unseen. So,
these were 3 men from different outfits.
okay,
One was from Texas even,
see,
way off.
yeah. So Texas is I don't know what it is. I mean, but I've seen Texas, yeah. But you do see the signs like, well, from realtors saying them, we buy homes for cash, but farms also for sure.
Wow.
But yeah. The one right next to my next door neighbor just put theirs up for sale. It's crazy because I mean, Mueller, but all those houses, because it's land and right now that it's definitely a seller's market. That all of our properties have been evaluated double of what, sure, things go up and with inflation and stuff like that, but not that much. We're realists here, but yeah, I mean, but it's pretty high price on, same thing that's similar to what we have, maybe not the same, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I haven't had anybody come door to door.
Okay, so the second thing that I had on the agenda was,
Comprehensive plan.
yeah, so another thing that happened at the winter conference was at several points, I don't know if you were in any of those particular.
I heard it mentioned.
Yeah, there were a lot of, I'd call experts there who strongly recommended it. And Mark recently, I guess, heard something too that said, that he thought it was a good idea. The county has a plan kind of outlined for us that we could use as a basis, but we even refer to in a couple of places in our resolution a comprehensive plan, but we don't have one. So the idea of a comprehensive plan is that it serves as a basis for long-term planning and a foundation for a zoning resolution. So we already have the zoning resolution, but it's kind of a way of looking forward. What's the township going to look like in 20 or 30 years? Is that corridor between Germantown and Carlisle, 123, going to become developed?
Right now, we have, the German Township has sections in the county comprehensive plan.
Just section.
Yes. It's 5.5, future land uses in German Township.
Yeah, I've got that printed
Pretty
out.
general.
Yeah, it's very general. That's right. And really, they could do from their offices, without spending a whole lot of time.
Specifically mentions farmland preservation.
Yeah, I don't think you have this here. This
Do you want me to go print this for everybody?
copy of that. I can get everybody a copy of it, but,
Do you want me to go print it?
oh, would you? Yeah, that'd be great.
Forward it to my.
Give you your stapler back too.
That's the staple.
That actually.
Well, just gonna use that.
Yes. I just put it up this week. Sign just went in the yard like, or, maybe Friday, maybe.
What sign was that?
1,800 square foot. A little less than 18 acres, 550. Honestly, it's not acre too bad. That sounds really smart. That one on Shimp that was next to me, which Danny's old house sold for
Can you
416,000.
believe that? How
But
much?
just like two,
416.
416.
And it had 3.4 acres.
Yeah.
they paid like 220.
Unless they really redid it, it only has 3 bedrooms, right?
I think they redid it at 3.
Yeah.
I mean, they did the inside of it, but honestly, with the market with 18 acres, 515 is not,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
April.
that's crazy money for,
416 was that one. I mean, I paid 389 for my house in 21 with 6 acres, and it was built in 92, and that was built in 1892.
Yeah.
Then Glenn's found that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not upset about
right.
it, but it's lived in my house forever.
You're right, though, it's a seller's market.
It's more than that.
It's 400 for it. And they did some beautiful renovations. It was beautiful.
Well, the other things last year, Holbrook's just sold for the same thing. They're showing similar. Were lined up properties, so it's 3 something, 385, I think.
I don't know if that was.
I think it's
That one for 5 years, they put 515 on it, they had to go top one.
I know, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
One of each. I
Uh,
was trying to grab them as they were coming out. They're coming out too fast.
sticking together here. Yeah, one of each. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are other aspects of that too, that those top 2 pages. I just would leaf through that, Dan, and pass it along, but, Dave too, I don't have copies.
What's this from?
Well, that's, when I asked Larry Wiseman for things related to a comprehensive plan, he sent me all this, and these two pages are in the back.
Yeah, and this is
Sent me that as
section
well.
4, and this is section 5, right? I understand.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah, so he sent me that as well as another map, so, for all this in his mind, at least, change to a comprehensive
Mhm.
plan for Drummond Township. He's on the planning commission.
I put one. Read right. I'm sorry. I don't mark in red pen though.
On a few years ago, that was a pipeline company. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, clear.
They did get some easements bought on, I'm gonna say, 123 west side. And it was gonna cut across me and go back, here, not quite to the corporation. Emmett Stanley over there next to North of me.
Yeah,
I know he sold. Okay, then back to him, that didn't go through. That's corner, but
so the
you may,
pipeline goes through there?
no, there was one, the book one.
Oh, okay.
But they paid advance.
So they paid in advance?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know. Back then, 25,000 was a good bit. I mean, that's what Squeaky Sandlin got. Just going along the fence line, not me, but it was the fence line,
That's free money, Fred.
Squeaky Sandlin. Along 123 down there. I thought there was a number of them sold.
So in the past, we've had some discussions about whether we really need a comprehensive plan. I'm not 100% convinced, but maybe we should study it for maybe a meeting or two, just to see if it's worth getting into, just see what other townships have.
That's what I was gonna suggest, when we get copies of similar townships who do have them, get copies of theirs just to see what they cover.
Good idea.
And then we can kind of address that maybe at the next meeting.
Yeah, like maybe Miami Township and Washington Township, they have money, they
Yeah.
have lawyers.
Well, I think we also need to find some that are similar to ours.
Sure.
More
If they
farm,
have,
yeah.
if they have.
And if they don't, maybe that says, do we need, we
That's
need to have.
Because they're not anything used to enforce, they're just basically a plan.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
it's a guideline for future generations or whatever, future people in the zoning.
Yeah, it's looking ahead to stuff that, we may never live to see, that kind of thing, but, you gotta start somewhere.
Well, it does, and it sounds like this is kind of what this is saying. We've sort of adopted that, I mean, not sort of, we've said this a lot of times in our meetings. That's how we see ourselves, I think we based on this document, but I knew we had the exact wording before. We were designated as this area where it's not, it's more agricultural.
So, we don't have to decide anything tonight, but it's just, something to think about, maybe look at this. You want to check to see if you can find any, or you want me to do that? You're busy. I don't mind doing it.
I don't even know where to start looking. Can Larry give us copies of other people's? I mean, I'm assuming it's public record.
I would probably go to their websites, and if I can't find it, I would call somebody up there in their zoning department, their inspector, and say, what do you use? Do you
Wait.
have one?
You've heard about this through the township association thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then I would think they'd be a great resource as far as who else may have this or where we could get some kind of other wording about it.
They'll tell you, well, there's 1,300 counties or townships in the state of Ohio. We don't know what goes on.
So they don't think, I know it came up there. I thought maybe they had some kind of or they have somehow.
Yeah, all they know is it's important, that they were in their minds.
Okay.
Of course, these are attorneys talking who sell these things too.
Clay.
Right.
Clay.
Yeah.
Perry,
So
Jackson.
they need a consultant, basically.
Yeah,
Their answer will be,
That's right.
get yourself as a consultant.
Here's my business card.
Yeah.
Might be starting. So what I'm saying.
Oh,
Clay.
sorry, I'm on the planning
Oh,
commission
okay.
website just to see if they have something on here.
Well, I know we checked into it, or I should say, I think Mark Boss did or something, and it was, well, as I recall, numbers were like over $40,000.
redo our,
do some kind of, we have to redo the whole,
redo our entire resolution.
but that had nothing to do with that comprehensive planning.
No,
That's part
no,
of it.
not at all.
Okay.
So this is just for everybody's information. Mark at some point was told by the OTA or maybe given some type of an estimate that it would cost about $40,000 if we were to have our resolution brought up to date, by a legal firm and have it written in legalese, like, clean up issues, contradictions, things that maybe aren't current with Ohio law. There's been a lot of law passed every year, and there may be things that we're in conflict with in the ORC. We don't know. So about $40,000 was the price tag on that. Now, what has happened is both the House and the Senate, I believe it's both, have passed a bill that is going to give grants to the townships for money to have their resolutions rewritten.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the thing, and this is a question for everybody here. Do you know a grant writer? Do you know a grant writer who'd be willing to do some volunteer work? Because, Jeremy's done some grant requests for the roads and gotten some. But I think this might be a bit more involved, or certainly different, right? Certainly different. But this is my own thinking, I may be off base, but if we can get ahead of the pack and get our grant written first, or at least in the early stages before everybody else even thinks or knows about this, that maybe we have a better shot at getting some money, because our resolution really, it's in trouble.
Who has seen the grant, and how it reads? Where is that at? The grant has it'll have like an application probably that has to be filled out along with it, and then it'll have all these things listed that you need.
I don't know that legislation is even passed yet.
Oh, okay.
It may, if it doesn't get passed before their summer break, then it's got to be reintroduced in the fall. So,
I look for grant writers in the past for the fair and not been. I've looked for them in the past that'll do it for free. They're not.
It's not. A lot of times I was on a nonprofit board back in the 80s and I ended up helping with the grant writing thing. And at that point, I don't know if it's true anymore, the Dayton library actually had seminars or had assistance in grant writing, because a lot of these organizations, as if that one was I was on, did not have funds to hire grant writers. But it was so people who were there was a lawyer on there. I was doing, of course, writing and professional writing on there, and a couple other people like that who has that kind of capability to do it. And that's how I think most of those organizations did. They had their own people internally, just getting support from wherever we could for grant writing processes. And there were like the Dayton Foundation, the Kettering Foundation, all these that they happen to be ones we were targeting. And they also have requirements for how grants are to be granted, or what kind of things you need to do to submit a request for an application for one. So I mean, it seems, I don't know if it's changed a lot since those days, but it was very much of a customizable type of process. It wasn't like some kind of thing. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what you do. Answer all these 10 questions, and you've got it done. So it would
almost like creative writing type of.
I wouldn't say it's creative writing, but yeah, I mean, it was that undefined. They were they always had certain words, and whoever, like Dayton Foundation, or they'll say they have money available for particularly whatever interest they have, like in the community, maybe at-risk youth who are underserved in their education, or a certain poverty level, that kind of thing. So in that sense, it's defined, but then you have to go in and make your case as far as whether you satisfy the things they're looking for that grant. So
I was asking for the Kettering Foundation. through school.
Hmm.
They have a template. You write that, but then those people come and see, they come out to your site and they look and see what you're doing. So you're like, you're presenting your case, you know, that kind of thing. So it's, I don't know, that's why you have to have something to go by before you start doing your research to be able to put it in what it is you need, all the pieces that they're looking for, but you have to find it.
Yeah, I think they're all different, because I did one to get new book requests for the police department, more like an application.
Mhm.
And you have to know, I mean, you have to know who has source of funding for that. I mean,
Yeah.
like when you did that, you knew there's somebody.
Well, and I had to go find exactly what we're gonna order
Mhm.
and provide them with exactly what it was. It's gonna cost this much, and they provided this percentage.
But you knew. Sign in here. You only can have 3 minutes to make your statement, and then you might. So, but that was,
That's all right.
that was a certain group that you were targeting, right? I mean, who had funds?
It was, the Department of Little Best Partnership.
So you knew in advance that was who you were going to for those
Right.
funds.
Yeah, so I didn't know, like she had said, who's doing it, what's the grant actually look like? More application or, then we actually have to write
Yeah, it's a
something
little
up.
intimidating on that scale.
Yeah.
Always willing to be the helper.
And just so you know, the entire Montgomery County land use plan is on their website and the resources. And it sums up for different townships. So like the Clay Township one is on here.
On Montgomery County's website,
Montgomery County Planning Commission.
planning commission, okay.
Yeah, I just Google searched Montgomery County Planning, Ohio Planning Commission, and then under resources, it gives you the option to go right to the comprehensive use plan.
Did you say you're on the Ohio Planning Commission or the
Montgomery.
Montgomery County Plan.
Montgomery County?
So, I mean, I've seen Butler Township, I've seen Clay Township, future uses and land, Jackson Township. There's just smaller than ours. But if you want to take a look, I don't know how in-depth any of them go, but
Yeah, I appreciate
taking a
that,
look
thank
at
you. I didn't think to look there.
it's a 52-page document, so assuming there's a few.
It's a little bit of
Read
verbiage in
there.
there.
Yeah,
It'll be something to read.
it's all pretty small, you gotta zoom in quite a bit.
Hmm. That's an around.
And is that under comprehensive plans or what?
Resources.
Yeah, let me get back to it. Yeah, at the top it says like home Montgomery County, contact, and then there's a resources tab. Click on resources and then select category. One of the categories is actually comprehensive land use plan. And then the document will pop up. You just click.
All right, thank you. And thanks. Okay, well, that's something we can look at later, but, let's see. Agenda, I think that was really it. New business. I would like to say this, that I do not intend to run for president of the zoning commission this year. Like if nominated, will not serve type of thing. So I'd like somebody else to take over. Personally, I feel, this is my own philosophy, is I think it's bad for any organization to have somebody as like permanent. I think it should be passed around. So it builds strength in an organization and, it helps to, build leadership and that kind of thing. So I'm going to back out of this coming year. So you got 6 months to think about it.
I'm thinking that end of the room, somewhere.
My
over
goodness,
there.
I'm the newbie. I am learning,
I know what you mean.
learning,
What do you mean, Mark?
learning. Oh my word.
Too late.
In this direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all started out as newbies.
Yeah.
Hey.
30-some years
Yeah, I was
ago
gonna
for
say.
me.
My goodness, I haven't even been in a full year to even get my feet wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know this was happening at this
I
meeting?
did not. I'm not.
Yeah.
We're just
Gotta start somewhere.
Yes.
It was the price.
Well, I got like 6 months figured out.
Yeah.
Lost all track. Dan.
Yeah.
I think I've been on 20 years.
Mhm.
Could be.
How many years you said?
I think 20 maybe, but 15 at least.
Yeah, at least.
We haven't been president yet?
No.
No
Give a salesman.
better time.
I'll keep talking.
present.
I think we've all turned it down. I think I can say that. At some
No.
point, we've all turned it
I
down.
am turning it down. So you guys figure it out.
I can say that Freddie was real quick to volunteer me, like when I first started in I don't know if you started in the 90s, but anyway, somewhere in there when he got on the board, I served many, many years. as president. I'm gonna have to also decline if I'm not, just putting that out there.
Yo, we don't, you got 6 months.
Yeah, all right.
Are we doing any kind of, we were at one point following some kind of end of term types of things. Are we doing that?
That Mark's got us on a 5-year schedule where we roll off, and I don't know who's off this year. Now, he has always asked us if we want to re-up,
Mhm.
so then you're kind of pushing the bottom again, you start back over.
I was off last year and he called and asked if I'd do another 5.
You said,
So I did. This is year 1 of that.
You're one,
So-
yeah, I have no idea. who it
I don't
is.
know where I am in that cycle. I know at one point I was supposed to go off. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you were a couple years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Re-up.
Yeah, I don't remember any 5-year
Another
term.
tour, another tour.
I don't recall I don't recall a 5-year.
Yeah, Fred, I think you were re-upped like the year before.
Yeah, I
2
think
years.
this is like 2
Yeah.
years ago
Yeah.
for Freddie.
Yeah, so. we're-
Hard to keep track of.
Well, someone knows, probably Mark probably
sure
knows.
Mark's
If Mark's been keeping track of that, he probably knows.
Yeah.
Is he on there on the?
Okay, well, I didn't get, to beat Marvin's 7 minutes of last
No.
March 11th, but I threw it. So how about an hour and 7 minutes or 4 minutes? Okay.
When's our next
anything
one?
else?
Are we August?
Yeah, it'll be August, first Tuesday.
First Tuesday,
First Tuesday in August.
6th? I think it was the 2nd. It was always the same week as the
That'd be
trustee meeting.
July 2nd is a Tuesday.
No. I always thought it was the 2nd Tuesday of every month, or every meeting.
It's the even number months.
Yeah, but I always thought that we were the same week as the,
First,
you said first Tuesday, I always thought it was the 2nd Tuesday.
It's always been first Tuesday. Unless there's a holiday or something. then
That's
we-
August 6th.
August 6th, okay.
I want to be here.
6th.
Obviously, I'm not prepared.
What is it?
No, I'll be in Cleveland. I have you guys. Been back on the 5th in Cleveland,
Oh, God.
and I'll be in Cleveland all week.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A second. All in favor?
Guys, be ready for
Good
it tonight.
I was good at that.
8:03 PM.
He seconded as he's going out the door. Yeah. All right, folks, good meeting. Thank you.
First Monday in August.
For Tuesday. For Tuesday, yeah.
You said Monday.
Sure.
Did
Kurt,
I say Monday?
I
I didn't say Monday, did I?
No.
I think so.
The baby, Noelle's not out of faint. She just hasn't been fainting.
Are we off
It'll be
or
the
on?
second.
You have to be like, well, I dropped a gate the